5, and both of them chose Bread. And so David's songs keep showing up in playlists by these young artists who, in my opinion, are pushing things forward, and yet Bread just keeps on showing up.
Wow, that's
Isn't that crazy?
That's really crazy.
It's really good because, I mean, for me, Bread was the artist that I listened to through my parents, and I recognize now how sweet and how beautiful these songs are and beautifully performed. But when I was a kid, it was almost so perfect and so sweet. I couldn't get my head around it. It was just so perfectly formed. How do you even know about Bread?
I'll start with the range of musical taste that I have and the reason for it. My mom was such an old soul, but what that meant was there's a lot of folk, and then there's a lot of Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. So I think that I'll start with that, because then my dad was a DJ, so I listened to a lot of Tejano music, and I listened to a lot of hip hop back in the day, and so I guess that's where I'll start. But Bread, actually, I think with this song, most of my inspiration for music comes from movies and time periods. So it comes from like a place where I'll be in a zone of just, man, I wish music was like this again. Even though it has a certain place, you know, in time now, but people don't write the way they used to. And this is such a feel-good song. It just makes me... And the idea of it, too, it's like...
Yeah, the idea of being able to take an instrument and someone who plays it and memorializing them like that, as opposed to just utilizing them as part of the structure of the song. You know?
The reason why I loved this one, too, is because it's the idea of, like, this maybe tortured soul, like, going through each... Like, never able to be, you know, tied down or... constantly just going from place to place, because I'm an artist, so I live for a good brokenness.
Yeah.
Like, we've all been through ours.
It's nice to know you're not alone, right? It's nice to know these feelings have been going on for decades and you can find it through.
And there's something about the voices that these male artists have, you know, from like the Animals and the Guitar Man and who else, Elton. You know, back in the day, they all had this voice. Bob Dylan, it was just, there's something about it.
There's a custom-made playlist right here, just so fantastic, and I can't wait for people to come to the other end of it and recognize just a whole different depth.
I hope so.
Well, I know so, because Charles Bradley, are you kidding me? Oh my God. I couldn't believe that this music was made in the last 10 years. To me, it's so instant, vintage, and timeless, and yet they just captured it. Incredible.
And I think that's very hard to do, and also to make it relevant. And I remember when I play the song, people are always like, what era was this? Who is this? Or they'll guess a name, and I'm like, this is actually someone that's done this in the last few years. And I think certain artists can do that. Like, I'm blanking, Michael...
Kiwanuka?
Yeah, and I feel like those are some of the like tones and the deepness that I love. So,
and we all miss it. Look, I've been making these really deep playlists. It's kind of kept my OCD really in check throughout this crazy time. It's funny that I've been sending them to various people, and the ones that the artists always come back, like from Keith Urban and crazy people come back and they all fall in love with the funk, like the timeless funky stuff, the stuff that kind of hits you here and not here.
Exactly. I guess I also love the lyrics of Victim of Love, because it's something that's something everybody's been, and just the way that it's spoken of. It's like very genuine and honest and pure, and I love that a male is singing that. It's just, man, it's just good.
Hotel in Miami. I remember where I hear this song. It's the craziest thing. Walking on a Dream by Empire of the Sun, which just for me, oh my God, it's like Yeah's Maps for me. There's something that's otherworldly about the way it all sits together.
Yeah, I remember hearing it for the first time. I want to say it's like one of my friends played it for me, and we were actually driving on the coast. We were in Malibu Canyons, and I completely, I was so enthralled by this. I was like, what is this? And that's the first song I heard from them. So I then got to dive into a whole, other world with their other music. But I'll never forget, I was even driving somewhere to Malibu in a house or something, and I played that on repeat. It made me feel like I was in a different time.
It's the way it all fits together. It's the words and the melody and his voice and all of the psychedelic nature mixed with the modern pop. But it's the key. It's like if you took one element away from that, and you can't say that about every song. You could take away this or this or this, and the essence of the song would still be there. But you take one tiny little detail away from that particular song, and it just loses that perfection. Like it's the closest thing to perfect for me, that song.
Actually, I agree. That's a very good observation. I just think it is one of those songs that I wish a lot of music sounded like that so I could create. I feel like I can't create a playlist that's surrounded by that song because it's just so up there.
Loves, and it's such an era, you know? And what's your Erica story? Tell me about it.
The reason why I chose this song is because, and I think this is a great song, but I think there are like the way she created the music to be hypnotic. It's like, I can make you put the phone down. And it's like, there's something about connection. My friends even got like, they're like, stop playing that song. I don't know. For some reason, I just enjoyed how easy it was, but how calming, and it just did something specifically for me, and I enjoy it. My mom grew up listening to Erica, so I know like a wide range of her music. I think I know all of their songs. Yeah. I think that there's something, you can hear the song, and it's just like you don't turn it off. Everybody knows it. Everywhere to me is lyrically so much. I just love that idea. Like I picture love, and I picture friends, and I feel like 60s for some reason. And it's just, I want to be everywhere with you. I want to go places that I don't want to go to alone, you know, and there's something hypnotic about it.
Have you ever met Stevie Nicks? Have you ever met her?
I haven't. No.
Is that a real one? Is that a bucket list one for you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, ideally, like, I would have, like, probably, like, at my wedding, would love for, like, Stevie or someone in that world to sing at my wedding. That's, like, music, you know?
Yeah. Can you hear me calling? Netflix and wine. I know I did.
Yeah, basically.
How was it for you? I mean, how was routine for you? I mean, how are you finding all of this? Not on a deep level, but just to sort of like get through the day kind of level.
Yeah, I do find that routine and structure helps. So, yeah, I'll kind of do what you do. I'll go into a little bit of like 2 days watching a lot of stuff, and then I'll realize I definitely need to like do something. So currently, I'm actually building this little studio situation, and I'm doing it with the people that have been in my house. So I'm creating a little station where I'm going to be able to FaceTime with my engineer and some of my producer friends, and we're going to try to make some music, which I'm so excited about. But in general, yeah, I do a lot of walks because that's all I feel like I can do. I do weights inside the house. Definitely embarrassingly watch the YouTube videos where I'm trying to do what the woman is telling me to do, but she looks so glamorous doing it.
She'll kill me for telling you this, but my wife was doing a live Pilates class, and there was like 16 squares on a screen.
Oh my gosh.
And 15 of them were all moving perfectly, but she couldn't work out how to see the instructor. So I came downstairs, and she just doesn't know what to do. She's the only square standing totally still. And all you can hear is the instructor going, Kara, pick up your phone. Pick up your phone. And she's just mortified.
So sweet.
It was the most adorable thing. She's got no technical capabilities when it comes to actual modern technologies. She totally admits it. My kids call her the millennium bug because everything she touches just breaks. Hilarious.
Baby.
To her, just two of the most amazing artists, multi-instrumentalists. I really feel like her and Lauren are related somehow. There's just a sense of lineage between those two.
I mean, I loved her first stuff, so definitely was a fan. And she released, Focus and that album for sure. But this song, I think, poetically is one of the most beautiful songs I've heard. And because of her style, her aesthetic, and I just don't know, there's something that very, well, it's unique. I don't think anybody is really touching the area that she is, especially with her ability and her gift when it comes to playing. Like, she's that poet that's been so important, and I love the song she did with Daniel as well. Like, she's just a true writer and a true musician.
You can now just talk about Julia as an artist and what you love about her as an artist and who she is as a writer.
First off, I was with her when she said she would never be an artist. And to see her now do what she does is not only does it show or set an example of how incredible she is on her own and how different her music is compared to when she works with artists. So she has an amazing ability of being able to complement other artists, but also be very sure of what her music represents. And Julie and I are very close. And I think that this song, Body, is one of my favorites because that's all you really want. You know, I think that all parts of side of you, you just want someone to love you completely bare, you know, like emotionally and physically.
Yeah.
But for no specific reason other than just like having someone reassure. That's always a sweet thing, you know, having someone say like, why do you feel the way you feel? And it's like, I don't know. I wish you could see the way I see you is very sweet. So
specifically, we're diving into Selena's playlist right here at Home with Selena. We're at a point now where we're going to talk about someone whose voice to me is one of the most pure and incredible tones I've ever heard in my life. And the first time, I knew who she was and I liked her songs, but the first time, just absolute facts, the first time I heard Golden Hour, the album, I didn't move. I don't think I moved for a week mentally. Yeah. That's all I thought about on a music level. Even when I was playing everyone else's songs on the radio, I just kept wanting to get back to Golden Hour. That's the craziest thing.
That's awesome that you feel a way about that song, because I do feel that way about most of her album, but that song in particular just, I don't know, makes... First off, I'll agree with you on her tone. I think that she, even live, just, it's so pure. And when you, like, I've followed her before then, too, so I used to love when she would even do, like, the whole folk band and everybody would be harmonizing and it sound really country. Like, she just has something that, maybe this isn't the right way to say, but, like, I feel like that people don't know almost the depth of Casey because, you know, she's, if you look all the way back into her history, she's another musician, you know, she is just full force telling stories and telling them well, and Golden Hour just is so romantic and very sweet.
At Home with Selena Gomez. Every second, every minute, man, I swear that she can get it safe.
It's time now for us to go into a different room in this space. The thing about Poetic Justice was like the idea of getting K. Dot and Drake on the same record at that moment in their lives. That is almost for the Smithsonian. That song, just the two of them bouncing off each other at that moment it's encyclopedic, man. It's like...
It is, and I think that was like a huge moment in time. And I also feel like that for me was a huge Kendrick moment. I remember I was recording my album Revival in Mexico, and all we played was this album. I love Kendrick. I was gonna put Humble as well because of of how the steps he takes are incredible, and they're all in theme of just nothing necessarily about nonsense. It always has to mean something to him, and I just think he's one of the greatest rappers.
That's why he's a movie maker. That's why I think you get it too. I think he paints pictures in his songs with real clarity and real detail, and he finishes them. Not everyone finishes those pictures. We start them, we don't finish them.
I personally think that he is one of the greatest rappers.
Hands down.
Say if you
One of my favorite parts of him is like when we hang out, like he'll play all kinds of, from Rat-a-tat to I mean, he's the one who really like has me listening to Brat, Missy Elliott, all of these Eve, all of these like female rappers. Like he started to kind of show me a little bit, even though I already knew growing up, I can have this idea and this noise that I could hear from my dad and all that stuff. Not noise, but the music I grew up with my dad. But to have an appreciation now and see how females back then, it was definitely a lot harder, and they're royalty.
I'm gonna get him though.
You should. He's the best guy. He played me this song, and I freaked out because he's played me a lot of his songs, and I'm like, I want these to be out in the world. But this one he did, and it's such an anthem. I mean, it was like, this is so epic.
So we are talking about the album.
All I'm going to say is, from the get-go, I have been a Rihanna fan. SOS to now. So there isn't any real moment that, like, it isn't gold, but Love on the Brain, and when she performed that live, I think that's one of the greatest songs of our time. I just think that the way she sings that song, it just takes me to another place.
Is she your number one? Is she your favorite?
I mean, yeah. Yes, I have a whole book in there dedicated to Rihanna in my living room.
What? What is that?
The Rihanna picture book. And it's not a good idea to have around when you want guys there, but oh well. Yes.
Classic.
Again, I've from the beginning, so there's nothing really to say other than this is another song that shows her ability to take it back to the old Taylor and to also combine it with her challenging to do new things with her music. So I think that, even her SNL performance, that's Taylor. There's nothing else.
But you see a different side of her. You get to see her with the acoustic guitar before the songs get recorded, and you get to see her sit in front of you and say, what do you think of this? And that's about the most pure example of her ability and her talent and her musicianship.
I'll always, not even biased, just think she is one of the greatest songwriters.
I agree.
At Home with Selena Gomez on Apple Music.
For me, and I've been lucky enough to spend a lot of time with really talented people, but have you had anyone like that that's really affected you, because of the way of what they mean to you as an artist and how they've inspired you that you've been...
For me, it's a whole different kind of world artistically that I love. Like David O. Russell is one for me. He's a director, but he curates some of the best soundtracks for his movies, like American Hustle and Silver Linings Playbook. As far as, I think I would freak out more for someone older. If I had the opportunity to meet a singer that's been around, that can tell stories of what it was like.
It makes sense that you talk about David, though, because you mentioned at the beginning how important the movie side of it is for you in terms of music. And David is a perfect curator on both sides. He walks the line between, capturing this wonderful visual world, but also making it that much better by just having brilliant taste.
And I did get, I've gotten a chance to meet him, and it is like a geeked out moment, and that's a huge part because I always ask him about that part because I love, it's actually all of them, even Flirting with Disaster, and then I think which the other Joy. It's just there's a purpose for it.
Talk about Everything I Wanted, which is my favorite Billy and Phineas song. I was in New York. I was driving from the airport. The song arrived before it was released. I put it in, and I got crazy emotion.
Same. I cried.
First,
I'll say just the understanding she has, even her song Zanny, she already knows. She's so aware of what this industry can be and become. And when I heard that song, I just sobbed because I've been doing this for so long. And it's like, damn, that's so true. There are so many moments where I was just like, oh, it doesn't matter who you are. There's moments in your life where you're like, is this it?
What about that line, like I'm just somebody's daughter?
That kills me. I know. She deserved every single thing that she got and has. She's an amazing, amazing artist. This is one of the greatest songs, and not only is it because I love Big Sean, I need Big Sean, where's Big Sean? Literally, that song to me, just a classic. It's so funny, and when it comes on, no matter where I am, I feel like the whole world needs to stop. Because it's like me getting out my anger about just all the other stuff. When you go to a place and you want to box or something, just to get out everything, it's one of those songs.
I knew you would pick an incredible selection of music because I knew immediately when we met for the first time, aside from being just a good soul, Selena, that, you have really good taste.
Thank you so much.
This playlist is just the first of several that I'm gonna chase you down for another one because they're fun. And we're going to finish with Led Zeppelin and Black Dog because holy what a way to end a playlist.
For me, that's actually a classic. That's what my mom would play, and we'd be driving on I-30 in Texas and run out of gas on the highway. It reminds me of home. And obviously, I could do Rolling Stones, I can do all of them. And so I just picked this one because it's right off the bat. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like those songs. There just isn't. And that just hits you right when it starts. So that is a great way to end our playlist. Hey!